Hello, everybody. This is the Hollywood Rabbi, and I'm so proud to present this week's Torah portion wrap-up. It is called Vayishlach, and the word Vayishlach means to send, and it refers to when Jacob sent messengers out to respond to his brother Esav's request to meet with him. This week's Torah portion is almost like a soap opera. It spans 23 years, and it talks a lot about the trials and tribulations of our patriarch Jacob's life. The Torah describes each patriarch as having one of God's divine attributes, and Abraham embodied kindness towards strangers. He really cared about other people, and he showed a lot of kindness as he welcomed them into his home. Isaac was very dedicated in that he even agreed to sacrifice his life. Jacob's attribute was truth. That may be counterintuitive when you learn about his early life and how he deceived his father and his brother when he exchanged a bowl of soup for his birthrights and impersonated his brother in order to get a blessing from his father. But the thing I love about the Torah is that the biblical characters are all human beings, and it's interesting to watch them grow and watch them evolve, and we can learn from their great traits, and we can also learn from some of their shortcomings. But as you'll see in this week's Torah portion, the journey of Jacob really changed his life. Jacob had an attribute of resiliency, and he was somebody who really went through a lot of trials and tribulations in his life, and he learned through his life experiences. This week's Torah portion talks about the unfortunate rape of Jacob's daughter, Dinah. Dinah was taken prisoner by the prince of this small village, and she was held captive there. Her brothers Shimon and Levi felt that it was improper for someone to treat the daughter of Jacob like a harlot. So they decided to wreak revenge on the entire city. Shimon and Levi, the sons of Jacob, went off on their own, and they killed all the males of this city, and they rescued their sister. This type of vigilante activity that Shimon and Levi took the law into their own hands was actually chastised by Jacob. He thought that there would be other more diplomatic ways to resolve it. However, Shimon and Levi decided to take the law into their own hands and instill fear into the hearts of the villagers. Jacob was afraid that they were going to wreak revenge and wipe out his family, but that never happened. Shimon and Levi's vigilante act actually caused the townspeople to have great fear of them and respect. They felt that they were acting justly because their sister was treated so horribly, and nobody in the town stood up for her. They allowed it to happen. There was no collective responsibility, not from the perpetrators nor from the bystanders. However, it would be divine retribution that they should not have taken the law into their own hands. Jacob had the attribute of resilience. He had a goal, and he was able to carry out his goal. And he worked for his deceptive uncle for many years, and his uncle took advantage of him and made him work for free, and he deceived him. And he was working in this toxic environment because he wanted to win the hand of marriage of Rachel. Jacob received a message from his brother Esau after 20 years that he wanted to see him. Jacob felt that he could handle the situation diplomatically because his brother wanted to kill him. So he brought a lot of gifts of sheep to him, and he separated his family into different groups just in case the situation got aggressive, that his family would be separated and they wouldn't be able to harm them all at one, because Asaph brought with him an army of 400 people to confront his brother. He was still upset with his brother that his brother deceived him and took his birthright, and deceived their father and took his blessing. So when Jacob went to face his brother, he was looking for reconciliation, and he offered these gifts of sheep to his brother. Livestock was a sign of affluence. He gave these gifts of sheep to his brother. When they saw each other, they embraced, and Jacob apologized for his behavior. This shows that Jacob really learned from his mistakes, and he didn't want to keep repeating them. Later on that night, Jacob was visited by someone who he thought was a man, and they wrestled all the way till morning. They were wrestling back and forth. He was fighting this person they thought was a man. And in the morning, when the morning light, he realized that this was an angel. It was probably an angel of his brother. So he was trying to subdue the angel, and he asked him, he said, "Tell me your name." The angel did not want to tell him his name, because usually the name of the angel has to do with their mission. So he said, "Please, I must go. It is the morning light." I mean, who is this guy? Some kind of a vampire? He needs to leave in the daytime? But Jacob told him, "I'm not going to let you leave unless you bless me." So the angel renamed him. He said, "Well, your name is now Yisrael," because Yisrael means struggle with God and man. Since Jacob struggled with God and man, and he ended up victorious, his name was now Yisrael. It also comes from the word sing. And angels cannot sing unless people have sung the praise of God first. So it was morning, it was time. People had already woken up and sung the praises of God, so it was time for the angels to go out and sing. The people of Israel were known as Beit Yaakov, the house of Jacob, and now they were going to be called Israel, because it also means to be straight, to have a straight, direct relationship with God. And so, some of the forefathers talked about the temple being a field, a glorious field or a mountain, but Jacob looked at it as a house of Jacob. That's something that people could relate to, that the temple was a place, a house of God, where people could enter and honor God. Jacob had really come full cycle in this week's Torah portion. He took responsibility for his actions, and he tried to reconciliate, and he was able to find a favorable outcome. For all these reasons, there is so much to learn from Jacob's resiliency and his ability evil. Jacob's character traits help to define the people that wish to honor God and live their life in a way that sanctifies God's name. Thank you so much for watching and for all your wonderful comments. I look forward to hearing from you in the coming weeks. I wish you all the blessings of health, happiness, love, and prosperity. Like Jacob, my wish for you is for you to reach the best possible person that you can be with all your talents and all your gifts. And I hope that you can all help make the world a better place.